Ever notice how every time a rocker says final tour, it's like a horror movie villain saying, I'll be right back?
Right? Farewell in rock just means see you next summer, same set list, higher ticket prices, and meet and greet deja vu at a premium.
So naturally, we've got a few finals to talk about today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rockers to Doctors. I'm Nova Starwick, your friendly neighborhood scientist of distortion.
And I'm Dorian Prescott, your co pilot on this sonic ambulance ride through the month of rock.
Today, we're diving into all the head spinning, heartbreaking, and occasionally dehydrating news that came out this October.
Yep, we've got a whole kiss of stories, Ozzy trademarks, slash teasing, and Bon Jovi resurrection energy, lightning striking Megadeth, and lots more.
That's right. So lace up your high heeled combat boots, adjust your spike collars, and make sure you're hydrated. It's time to look back at October in three, two, one. We'll start with a story that broke every rock fan's heart. Kiss founding guitarist Ace Frehley passed away on October 16th at the age of 74. He was working in his home studio when he fell, suffering a brain bleed that put him on life support. The brain bleed that ultimately took his life. The spaceman flew too close to the amps, but he'll always orbit rock's solar system.
Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons released a statement in Variety saying, We are devastated by the passing of Ace Frehley. He was an essential and irreplaceable rock soldier.
Ace, who co founded Kiss in 1973, became known for his original spaceman stage persona, and later he achieved solo stardom with New York Groove. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2014.
And in more Kiss news, because apparently the universe wanted to keep that brand trending, Gene Simmons was in a car accident on the Pacific Coast Highway. He told authorities he either passed out or fainted before colliding with a parked car.
The LA County Fire Department transferred him for treatment at a nearby hospital. His wife, Shannon, said he recently changed medication and was supposed to drink a ton more water. Gene was not taking that advice.
On X, Gene reassured his fans, Thanks everyone for the kind wishes. I'm completely fine. I had a slight fender bender. Slight. It happens, especially to all those who are bad drivers. That's me.
Are you talking about you or Gene?
Well, it is a quote. He says that's me, but I'm also can identify with that being me as well.
Clearly, the demon needs a hydration reminder. Remember Brazil 2023? The show had to pause because Gene was dehydrated. Trend alert, somebody get that man a Stanley Cup with flames on it.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is drink water, kids, even if you breathe fire for a living.
On July 5th, Ozzy's final performance, known as Back to the Beginning, it had been wildly successful. And when you have a success like that, naturally concert planners would want to repeat that success. Well, the trademarks have been filed in the US by Ozzy's business entity, Monowise Ltd., and it's listed under live musical performance and merchandise. And that's according to Loudwire.
What was supposed to be the ultimate farewell might instead turn into an annual memorial party. Speculation is that the company wants to turn Back to the Beginning into a recurring tribute concert, a way to keep Ozzy's legacy alive and draw in fans annually.
So, farewell tour number 6, 7?
Yeah, I'm a little confused. Fans online have been asking, does this mean that once a year Back to the Beginning is going to put the spotlight on whichever legacy rocker has recently announced that they're retiring?
That could never work. Unless, of course, the hologram started biting the heads off of virtual bats.
Mm, right. And nobody can do that because nobody is better than Ozzy.
Next up, Slash has confirmed that a new Guns N' Roses album is officially in the works.
Yes. Finally, finally, finally. In a recent interview with Guitar World, Slash confirmed that a new Guns N' Roses album is in the works. Yes! In interviews posted on Loudwire and Blabbermouth, he stated, "There's so much material at this point. It's a matter of having the discipline to sit down and get into it. So it's coming. I know it's coming because everyone is thinking about it. It'll just happen when it happens."
Translations. He knows the songs exist, but the band just needs to, stop touring long enough to record them.
If it happens, it'll be the first album since Chinese Democracy in 2008, and the first with Slash and Duff back in the mix.
And some fans don't consider Chinese Democracy an actual Guns N' Roses album, so it's been even longer for all of them. But in the meantime, we've had singles like Absurd, Hard School, perhaps, and The General. But yeah, it's been a really long wait for a full album.
Shameless plug here. About a month ago, we did a deep dive episode on the alleged missing Guns N' Roses album that was recorded throughout 1996 and 1997. If you're interested in hearing about that, check out that episode. The link is in the description below.
And speaking of comebacks, Bon Jovi. After vocal cord surgery that nearly ended John Bon Jovi's singing career, look, my cat came to visit. This is Gwen. She's a very angry cat, and she just jumped up to see me, and she may bite me at some point. But anyway, she's very excited about Bon Jovi. But so Bon Jovi, after vocal cord surgery that nearly ended his singing career, he is back with the Forever Tour, launching July 7th, 2026 at Madison Square Garden.
That is huge. The man literally rehabbed his voice back from the dead.
After a long period of recovery and rehab, Bon Jovi announced the Forever Tour. And this is going to take place again on July 7th, 2026 at Madison Square Garden. And I saw them a long time ago at Madison Square Garden, and you can't even, I've seen them a lot of different places, but this show was magical. They have the energy there. It was so amped up because this is basically their home turf, right next to New Jersey. So many of their friends and their family was there. I am jealous of any of you that are going to that Madison Square Garden show. But the tour will also make some major stops in Murrayfield Stadium in Edinburgh, Croke Park in Dublin, and Wembley Stadium in London. Massive, massive establishments. So alongside the tour, they're releasing a legendary edition of their 2024 album Forever, which is full of really exciting collaborations.
Here's hoping Forever also refers to John's new vocal cords. Hey, you know what streaming series I am absolutely loving?
Yes, Slow Horses.
No, not that one. That one's great, but not that one. I'm talking about something else. A comedic murder mystery show for older people that's called Only Murders in the Building. It stars Selena Gomez, Martin Short, Paul Rudd, and Steve Martin. Only Murders in the Building is like Clue, except for people that pay property taxes.
I know where you're going with this.
Of course. Selena Gomez is gorgeous. I knew nothing about her before seeing the series, but my goodness, she is striking.
You're supposed to talk about Steve Martin, Yungblud, and Aerosmith?
Yeah, I am, but they're just afterthoughts. The real story here is Selena Gomez and how.
If you haven't heard, Yungblud and Aerosmith have released an acoustic rendition of a song that's on their upcoming EP, One More Time. That song is My Only Angel Desert Road version. Sure, it's a little backwards to release the acoustic version before the EP comes out, but there's a reason why.
To honor Selena Gomez.
No. They've released it now because the track features Steve Martin on banjo and slide guitar.
So basically, it's Aerosmith meets the Three Amigos. I love it.
Yes. So apparently, Steven Tyler just called up Steve Martin and asked him. And Steve Martin said yes. It was really as easy as that. The EP is set to release on November 21st, but you can preview the video on YouTube. But do note, you're going to hear Steve Martin playing, but you won't see him in the video.
Does Selena Gomez dance in the video?
Focus, Dorian. And no, Selena Gomez doesn't guest star on this track yet. But you do know that she has a fabulous singing voice, right? If you don't, you should check her out
No.
because she is multi-talented, besides just being gorgeous. And at one point, she did do, she's put out a kind of a pop rock, electronic rock album that you should definitely check out.
Okay, right. I'll do that.
hmm So we seem to have some legends in the making continually. Volbeat's latest single, Time Will Heal, has reached #1 on the Billboard mainstream rock chart. It's their 12th time landing this accomplishment. The single comes from their ninth studio album, God of Angels Trust, which dropped on June 6th.
According to interviews with the band, musically, it's one of those songs, signature Volbeat, but lyrically, we're talking about struggling a little bit with life, like getting the wrong leg out of bed.
Relatable. My
Mm.
left leg has been cursed since I ran that half marathon in September.
Volbeat now holds the record for most number ones by a North American act. Not bad for a bunch of Danish metalheads.
You meant non North American act.
You got it.
The Pretty Reckless with Taylor Momsen has announced a holiday EP titled Taylor Momsen's Pretty Reckless Christmas. The Grinch just dropped his candy cane in shock. It was released digitally on October 31st and will be physically released on November 14th via Fearless Records.
A spooky holiday miracle.
The EP will include a reimagined version of the song Where Are You Christmas, a track Momsen originally sang as a child actress in the film How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And of course, there will be 4 additional original holiday songs in the band's trademark rock style.
According to Momsen, revisiting Where Are You Christmas 25 years later feels like coming home to a part of myself that I hadn't seen in a long time. Recording it now, with all the life I've lived in between, I hear it through a different lens, but the heart of it is the same. It's about wonder, hope, and holding on to the magic, something I think we all need more of than now more than ever.
It sounds like this EP won't be all playful holiday cheer. Instead, it gets personal, reflective, and even biographical. The reimagining of Where Are You Christmas ties her present identity as a musician to her early acting career, bringing things full circle.
So, from stealing Christmas to saving rock. Yeah, that's full circle.
And you know who else did a Christmas song? George
Who?
Lynch.
Ooh, yeah. George Lynch did do a Christmas song a little while back with Jeff Pilson, who was the bassist for Lynch Mob. Lynch Mob, by the way, an amazing band that should never retire. But man, that name. Do you know how hard it was to tell my non metalhead friends that I wanted to see a band called Lynch Mob when they came through Cincinnati? They were like, what's wrong with you? Then I became all apologetic. Like, I know, it's a terrible name and it's not what they mean. See, but the guitarist's name is George Lynch and kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Their new album, Dancing with the Devil, drops November 28th, 2025, and apparently it is their final one.
Right. Until their next final tour.
Right. The lineup will be George Lynch, Gabriel Colon, Jaron Gulino, and Jimmy DeAnda. It's meant as a mature reflection of who they are now, a swan song, if you'd like. Every guitarist says final album, the way horror villains say last victim.
Hmm. By the way, Gabriel Colon has killer vocals. If you're a fan of George Lynch's work, especially his super underrated band, The End Machine, let alone Dokken, this album is most likely going to melt your face. The public facing impression we're getting is that we'll hear more than an echo of Lynch's earlier work, but with an additional decades of skill, experience, and wisdom.
Speaking of reunions, the BulletBoys are back. Jimmy DeAnda rejoined Mark Torian and Lonnie Vincent with new guitarist Frankie Lindia.
They're not just dusting off old hits either. They're writing new material because nostalgia hits harder when it's freshly mixed.
They even played shows with Lynch Mob this October. Of course they did. Jimmy didn't even need to move his drum
No.
kit. He just placed it on the stage and popped on BulletBoys, popped that off, Lynch Mob.
Yep.
You can catch them with Warrant on December, December 19th in Illinois or December 28th at the Whiskey A Go Go,
I still can't believe that place actually exists. That's awesome.
right? Sammy Hagar and the Best of All Worlds Band released a new live album titled The Residency, covering his 2025 residency in Las Vegas. In a Loudwire interview, he stated that his goal isn't to be bigger than anyone else, but to outdo himself and transcend his previous work.
He revealed that although he's already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as part of Van Halen, he still aims to be inducted as a solo artist someday. Concerning his Las Vegas residency, Hagar argues that calling it retirement is misleading. He calls Vegas a version of retiring in that he can perform without any of that grueling travel. Anyone can sing longer there. You don't have to travel. Just rest all day, he said.
Furthermore, Hagar said that while he's done many live records over the years, this one was a lot tougher to screw up. They had 9 shows to choose from, so if something was wrong with one song, they just took it from a different night.
hmm You know what's so awesome? He's still got aspirations, goals, and motivations, and he's like 77, I think. Most
Mhm.
rock stars seem to lose that spark along the way, but this guy is always living on the plane of inspiration. He deserves to have his solo work inducted into the Hall of Fame.
If that wasn't enough, the metal work got a nice surprise right before Halloween. The metal work? That must be
Metal World.
World.
Yeah.
World. Metal is hard work, but in the world of metal, there was a really nice surprise, and that surprise is Dave Mustaine has confirmed that the album that they're putting out will include a version of Metallica's Ride the Lightning as a bonus track. Mustaine reasons he had a lot to do with writing the song when he was with Metallica, and yes, he was with Metallica, and he wanted to close the circle by doing this version.
He explains that it's a gesture of respect. It's not meant to mend the past, but to honor the legacy of both Metallica and Megadeth. Mustaine says that they sped the song up slightly, changed some of the solos, and he added his own unique vocal elements. Most strikingly, he explained that the song is part of him getting ready to hang my guitar up, making sure that nothing is left unsaid.
For all you glam lovers out there, Pretty Boy Floyd has announced a new live DVD titled Live from the Sunset Strip Hollywood. And yeah, it's filled with sleaze, sweat, and the Sunset Strip sound you came for. Basically, Barbie meets Boogie Nights, but with more leather.
They dressed like strippers. They're probably from the strip.
The performance was recorded at the Whiskey A Go Go.
And I really want to go there. Terrible here.
West in West Hollywood on June 6, 2025, featuring the lineup of Steve Summers on vocals, Jacob Button guitar, Zeus bass, and Chris on drums. According to Sleaze Rocks, the recording features a performance of Motley Crue's debut album Too Fast for Love in full, plus 2 MTV videos and the new track Lovesick.
And finally, Dangerous Toys. They're dropping Demolition on December 12th, a compilation of unreleased recordings from their early years.
Think of it as an opening an attic full of dusty cassette tapes labeled Rock and Roll Mistakes and Miracles, 1989 to 1991.
If that isn't the subtitle for our show someday, it should be.
That wraps up the October Rock Roundup. Please check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, and Amazon Music at Rockers to Doctors.
Stay hydrated, keep your vocal cords in good shape, and never trust a farewell tour.
Until next time, I'm Nova Starwick.
And I'm Dorian Prescott, and we're headbanging with a hypothesis.